I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Here we go. It's another edition of the Daily Puck Drop. It is Friday, May 16th. Welcome in, kiddos. Another edition of it. We go live every day at 10 a.m. on YouTube and Twitter. So thank you for watching the live stream. You can also listen to the live Daily Puck Drop on the brand new, well, it's been around for a while, Puck Sports mobile app. Download it to your iPhone and to your Android phone. Go to the Google Play Store or the iOS App Store. And, of course, everything up later on YouTube, the YouTube channel Puck Sports. When you're there, please subscribe, like the channel, leave a comment, even a nasty one. I'll answer those as well in a kind way. Also on all your favorite podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube Music. Doesn't matter. We're on all of them. We've invaded every single podcast platform. And, of course, you can catch everything up at pucksports.com. All right, we are broadcasting from the Limbeck Lumber Studios. Contractors, they offer free deliveries, everything from whole house packages to homeowner DIY projects. They got the largest stock moldings in the Northwest. Why? Because they're old school. They've been doing it since 1930. Give them a call, 206-782-3487. Visit them online at limbecklumber.com. Of course, you can follow me on all the social media channels, Puck Sports on Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, Puck_sports on TikTok. We're on Facebook. We're everywhere and anywhere. Coming up on the show today, we got M's Mariners, the Vedder Cup. Great story written today by Tim Booth on the history of the Vedder Cup there in the Seattle Times. And a melancholy in a way because he wanted to get all this great feedback from everyone because he's a huge Pearl Jam fan. And then everybody on the Mariners dugout or clubhouse is like, I don't know who the hell those guys are. Nuggets, one more. We need one more, you sons of bitches, one more. To finish off Oklahoma City. Chris Egan will be by here at the bottom of the hour, and we wrap up our Friday slate of guests with the Scout, our anonymous baseball scout, 30-plus years in the game. We talk a lot about Ben Williamson, Cole Young today. We get into building the perfect baseball player. What does a scout look for? What does he particularly look for when he's evaluating a player? And some of the Northwest kids coming up in the MLB 2025 draft. Number of guys could be selected there in the first round. We'll get to all of it with the Scout. But it's a Friday. He's back. Does he have a job interview? Or is he trying to look presentable by a clean streak? I mean, it's amazing. Hey, Brian, he's made it all 3 days this week. Does he get a bonus?
I should.
You should. You really should.
How often do I miss? I don't miss that often.
You haven't done a full week of shows in a month.
Bullshit.
Oh, no, Bullshit. It's not. Guarantee. How much would you like to wager?
I missed. I had to go to Pullman, and then I think I went to Pullman twice.
You went to Pullman twice, and then you had to drive up for Mother's Day, which took place on a Sunday, but you had to drive up on a Friday.
Those are fair excuses, aren't they?
They are. I never said they were unfair. I'm just saying that you have.
You think I'm shortchanging Brian Turner at a clean streak?
I don't think that at all. I know you are. I know you are.
You're inferring that. Yeah. Okay.
I know you are.
Do you know about a clean streak, though? I don't know if everybody else does.
Tell me. I don't know.
See, River wants to hear about it too. Kathy, he can hear Kathy in the kitchen rustling around, and that might mean that he can get some food. Okay. I don't know. I'm distracted. Here I go again. I mean, you're always happy to have me distracted, right? You like all this distraction over here? Okay.
Whatever you need to do. Do you need to take care of River? Does River need to be let out?
Yeah. All right. You know my favorite. You know what my favorite saying is?
You are a wreck.
My favorite saying, I swear to God, and Kathy told me about this one. A friend of hers uses it like 20 years ago. She told me about it. Fuck me dead. It sums up everything. It's just like, fuck me dead. Okay. That's my motto in life. It's like when something goes wrong, it's like, fuck me dead, man. Just fuck me dead. You like that?
You've got no problems. Do you need to let River? No one's upset. Do you let River out? Does River want to go see Kathy? Go let him out.
All right. Well,
Is River barking?
she
Is
came-
River barking at the neighbors? Because is there somebody parked in front of your
He
house?
came and got him. No, I got nothing new
Okay.
on the neighbors. Okay, wait, let me get this out of the way.
Wait,
Okay,
time out. Why is River barking? Didn't you put the bark collar on him that shocks him every time he makes noise, like a goddamn Nazi?
There's a little control on there, and it has kids at the playground, don't bark.
No.
Cars going by, don't bark. Food, okay to bark. So you set the thing up so that they bark at certain things.
You're making that up. That's not
No,
real.
I'm not making that up. It has on the collar.
It has different settings on it.
Different settings where you can if it's kids playing or noise outside.
Does it have a setting on there?
Did you really believe that for a second?
Because it does have a setting on there. Does it bark at a person of color in Bend?
We haven't gotten them yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should be on their way down there.
No. I told you that story though, didn't I, about Tim Hevley's dog? Huh? Did I tell you that?
No. Why don't we just get to Clean Streak?
Are you worried about this?
I know. I don't care. But
no. Okay. Let's get to Clean. Let me filter myself. A Clean Streak professional window and exterior cleaning service. Read by an unprofessional person here, proudly serving Island and Skagit County for more than 10 years. Brian Turner. You know Brian Turner. God, he texts me all the time. He's one of those guys too that uses that microphone all the time, and then talks to you. It's kind of cool.
It's called voice text. Yes.
Oh, whatever the hell, man.
You don't like voice text. Sounds like you're kind of upset that Brian Turner, who's paying for you to come on 3 times a week.
I'm not upset.
Are you
at
upset
all.
that he
I like
that he
hearing
texts
from
you?
Brian Turner. He uses a little microphone thing, and he encourages me, he supports me. He just says, "Hey, I know you got a shitty neighbor, man. That's why I'm on 5 acres." He doesn't want to have neighbors. I understand that. And so, I'm going to get along with the neighbors, though. We have new neighbors who just moved in across the street, and they don't know that I'm a shitty neighbor yet. So they like me so far.
Well, they'll find how soon until they find out?
I don't know, probably a day or two. They have a dog, though, and I helped the husband move in some boxes from their U-Haul the other day. So,
nice. Very good. Very neighborly of you.
Yeah. But back to Brian Turner, his capable crew there at A Clean Streak. They'll clean your gutters. They'll clean your roof. They'll clean your windows. They'll clean everything. Your patio, pressure wash. They'll do it all. And I'm still waiting. Come on. God dang it. Come on. Someone out there, please. I'm begging people. I want to give you $50 when you hire A Clean Streak to do a job for you. So give them a call at 360-395-5748 or visit acleanstreak.com. And listen, I'm tapped out on the $9,000 that I won on the Masters, but I've got $3. How do I get my fingers in there? There we go. $3 on Joe Highsmith at 500 to 1. He's going to bring it home. Another $1,500 come to Papa. Okay. So I'll have $50 for you at acleanstreak.com.
For those wondering, Joe Highsmith, well, as you mentioned that, he just dropped a shot. He just bogeyed, I believe, 16. He's now 5 under for the day, but 3 under for the PGA Championship. This leaderboard update brought to you by Synthetic Turf Northwest. SyntheticTurfNorthwest.com.
You know what? I need Synthetic Turf Northwest to come down here and give me an estimate. Because
I don't know if they're going to travel all the way down to Bend, Oregon.
Jesus, this Alpha Turf Northwest or whoever I had come give me an estimate. Puck, it's not even that big a piece of yard that I'm looking at here. It really isn't. I measured it. It was like, I don't know, 18 feet by 8 feet or something. $8,900 was the estimate to put in synthetic turf. I bet you Synthetic Turf Northwest could beat that bid.
Well, give them a call. See if they will.
$8,900 to put fake grass in.
Cover your expenses. Cover their expenses to come on down there. Maybe they'll come down and give you a bid.
Okay. All right.
Give them a shout out.
I'll do that. Can I pay what you paid them?
You'd have to ask, but it's not beneath you to ask for free stuff. So.
Okay. All right. But yeah.
I told you that it was going to be a little bit more than you thought.
Jesus, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
Folks, let me just take you.
Let
me take you behind the scenes. This guy who we love thought it was going to be like $1,500.
Which guy?
You thought it was gonna be like two.
No, I didn't think it was going to be 15.
You thought it was gonna be like $2,000. Well, you thought with your
$5,000.
you thought with your $9,000 you were gonna get repair the cart, buy all these TVs, get a new putting green, and have like money left over to party.
Well, no, I was thinking about electric bikes too.
Oh,
You get old and you start doing that kind of shit.
Hey, they're everywhere. Those electric bikes are sweet.
Like nobody gets bikes anymore. Once you get in your 60s, it's like, yeah, I think I'll get these electric bikes and let the electricity do the work for you.
And that's fine, and no problem with that. Here's my issue with the electric bike community. Here's my issue with them. They're not bikes anymore. They're motorcycles. And these people on this electric bike community of people, this army, these pests, they're everywhere where I live. I mean, everywhere. And they are flying up and down, not just the streets, Jim, but flying up and down the bike lanes, flying up and down the sidewalks. I mean, going 30 miles an hour on it's a motorcycle. They're not bikes. And I'm like,
okay, so
no, I don't know.
What's your biggest issue? That they're misnamed?
Fast.
They're misnamed?
They're going too fast. They're going to kill somebody on those things. They're idiots. They're idiots, and most of them, and I would say, I'd venture to say 95% of these dorks on these e-bikes have got their fucking headphones in, and they're just going balls to the walls on the street or a sidewalk. And I'm like, it's a death wish. You're going to kill yourself or kill somebody else. So good luck to you.
Well, I'm torn on electric bikes because everybody that gets them, they swear by them. They're going, that's the greatest thing ever. Yeah. But the thing is, I'm kind of with you, either get a bike or get a motorcycle, because really what the electric bike, if someone really likes it, it means they're lazy as shit, right? It means that they don't want to do their own pedaling. And they're probably, on their way to being a fat fuck or even, bigger.
Well, but it's still you got to do a little bit of pedaling. And
well, not really. I don't think. Do you? Can't you just switch and?
You can switch, but I think you do some of it.
Yeah, I suppose.
I'd love to see. Get one. I think they're fun. Get a scooter. Okay. Get an electric scooter.
Okay, and then the other thing, I know you want to get to this Vedder Cup because everybody's fired up about
I just put it down there just because it was the only thing Mariners related.
I didn't read Booth's story.
It's a really great story. It's really, really well done.
If Booth wrote it, it can't be really great. It might be sort of great.
You're right about that. Great. Lukewarm.
Yeah, it might be okay. Yeah. I mean, if Varel wrote it, then it could be really great. But Booth.
Hey, Mike Varel wrote a story the other day, and I put it out there on Twitter, and I encourage anyone to go read it. It's just a fabulous story about the PLU baseball team and their head coach that needed a stem cell transplant, and then he got it, and then now he's encouraged. They started like not a charity, but a foundation there, not a foundation, to encourage all of his athletes to donate their stem cells as well, and other athletes at PLU. And it details a story of one player on his team who was called upon. And it is, I did not realize when you become a stem cell donor, I don't want to give the whole story away, it is a process that these people have to go through to be donors. But I mean, not mentally.
It's not like giving blood.
It's not like giving blood. Like, that's what I thought it was like. Oh, you're just giving blood. It's not like that at all. Like, it puts a toll on your body. And Mike wrote just a fabulous story about it, about one kid that was called upon to be a donor and flying to Houston, I think it is, to do it, and then coming back, playing a baseball game, and then just his perspective on it, why he did it, and why all the kids do it. It was a fabulous story. Go read it when you have time.
Yeah, that it sounds terrific. And I know a kid on that PLU team, Rutger Yauch, used to play with the kids growing up. And so, yeah, I'm gonna check that out. That's, those are the kind of columns, and you mentioned it with John Canzano. When he writes the human interest type columns, and I'm the same way. I mean, when I used to be a columnist, I mean, those were the kind of columns that you really enjoyed writing, and they were human interest, but.
And along those lines, go read the latest John Canzano piece, where I think we talked about it maybe on Wednesday. I don't know. But there was an incident last week involving an 11U softball team and parents, of course, and a coach from a team getting mad at the other team. And what's the right word? He said that the other team was using a player that was not of the right age and wanted to see the accused the player of not being 11 and wanted to see a birth certificate on the field
because she was too tall. She was like
because she was too tall. So the girl's she's in tears, because everyone's sensitive, especially girls are sensitive at that age in particular, especially when they're tall, because they're gawked at, oh, look at you. You're some freak. And do you play basketball? That's always like the first question, right? So they're already self-conscious. So she's already self-conscious about it, but she's big and she's good. And this coach acted like a complete jackass. And it's all caught on the Game Changer. You could see it for the video, hear it. It's awful. The parents commenting in the background, awful. And behind the plate was a 17-year-old high school softball player who is one of the best softball players in the state of Oregon. He's going to, I believe, Santa Clara on a softball scholarship. And John, that was another angle of the story, how she handled the whole thing, the coach, but also how she handled the 11-year-old girl. And John wrote a column initially about what happened that day and then did a follow-up story just on the high school softball player. I mean, the parents that have raised this young girl, hats off. That is probably the most impressive 17-year-old girl that I've ever read about, this young woman. And it's terrific. So if you like those type of stories, I know you do, and I know probably more our audience does. It's a fabulous story. She's got a line in there that parents, you are going to use to your kids and pass down to your kids forever.
Well, and John's he's so consistently good. I mean, he covers the nuts and bolts, and that's what we appreciate about him. But he also goes that extra mile. Like, he took an extra step with that story to even flesh it out even in a better way. So yeah, does anyone ever think we're consistently good at anything? Well, I think you downplay, your talent. I mean, I do. I think you got some. I mean, it's not always evident, but no, I mean, you're entertaining. You do a good job. No. I mean, some shows are better than others.
Just keep going.
Yeah. Well, like today's is one, that isn't all that great. I mean, what do you have here? No, I like the Scout. And you know what? The other thing I appreciate about you, and I hope everybody else does, it's listening, especially the Puck's Posse members, is that everything you offer for only $5 a month. But it's important to you that you want to make sure that people are getting their money's worth.
Hey, stop it. I'm not, if this wasn't for a compliment, was making fun of us. Stop it.
Well, I know, but I turned it into a compliment, if that's all right. I mean, you're a pain in the ass, you still want me to get a microphone and headphones and, be more professional and everything.
Well, no, hold on. Well, I bought you a microphone. It's just not, you haven't got it to work on your end.
No, what? You didn't buy me a microphone.
Yes, I did. I paid you for that microphone.
No, you didn't.
100% I did.
I bought the microphone.
100%.
I bought the microphone and headphones. Huh?
You sure about that?
Yes.
100%?
Well, 99.
Okay.
Yeah. You got the receipt somewhere?
Well, the CFO does.
No, I swear to God, I bought the damn thing.
I've got to write everything off, Jim. I got a whole list of receipts I got to write off.
Okay, now we've been talking too much serious shit.
You want to talk Vedder Cup?
No, I don't really want to talk about the Vedder Cup, but since you have it as a headline, I will. And since Booth wrote about it, I will.
That's fine.
But before we get there, you were helping me out. I didn't understand that there are outdoor TVs and indoor TVs. Can you explain that to me? Because I think more and more people are doing this now. Like, you have an outdoor TV. Sam Meyer has his, 2 or 3, it sounds like. I'm going to try and have one down here in Bend. I didn't realize there was so much that went into it, just like the stem cell, donors.
It's a scam. Don't do it. It's a scam. The outdoor TV is a scam. Just go buy some piece of, just whatever. It's an outdoor. They're so cheap now. I have a Roku TV. I don't know, 30-incher outside. I think I paid $150 for it. It has lasted 3 years. It probably lasts one more year, then I'll replace it.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't let them upsell you on some outdoor TV that's triple the cost and you need it out. You don't need it.
It's at least triple the cost.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. I looked at these Samsung outdoor TVs.
No,
I didn't know there was such a thing as an outdoor TV. I thought you just put your indoor TV outdoors.
You do.
And you put a cover on it when you weren't using it.
Sure. I would probably recommend, because it gets colder out there in the winter. Most people up here will put like a soft cover on it. Boy, these people are really getting their money's worth today on this show. What they talk about today on the show, honey, you love this show. What? Well, they talked about outdoor TVs and soft covers. Fuck it, hey man, why have I not signed up yet? Jesus. You get the soft cover, or they even have like a hard one, like almost looks like a book, like a case or something that kind of goes over it. Yeah. You can do that. You don't need to buy a specific outdoor TV. It's a scam. So
Okay. Not only that, but like I bought this, ceiling mount, to hook into a beam that I have out there,
Yeah.
So, but the guy who's going to do it for me doesn't want to do it because he feels like you need to get an outdoor mount instead of, an indoor mount, because it'll rust or whatever, and he doesn't want the liability in case the TV comes crashing down in years.
What are you putting it to? Are you connecting it to the house? Is it just?
It's in a pergola thing, that has a beam, so it's covered. But now the guy doesn't even, and then he tells me that they have outdoor mounts that are $450.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Tell the guy you work for me, so this is what I want, and put this there and use this. I'll deal if the TV falls down. If you can't do that, that's fine. I'll just
that's what I was going to tell him. Like, I'll fill out a form where the liability's mine and not yours. And if the TV crashes, down on somebody,
Jesus.
then I'll take the responsibility. But anyway,
first world problems.
Yeah. Okay.
How am I going to get my outdoor TV to work? Jesus. How am I going to be able to watch my Mariners and my outdoor TV with my Gatorade and tequila sitting in my hot tub next to my putting green? Boy, life was tough for me at the PI.
Hey, listen, asshole. Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to be 68 years old next month. When you reach this time of your life and you've got a little extra money that you won on a master's pool, you just basically roll the dice and you go, okay, I'm going to live life large right now.
Yeah,
okay, because I don't have all that much life left. Let's face it. I'm on the back nine somewhere, hopefully like 15, maybe on the fairway. Who knows? Yeah. But you might as well just go for it at this point. And so you know what I'm doing? I'm putting in a 70-incher outside. Okay. Wow. Yeah, you're going to see that when you come down here Thursday.
I think you quite need the 70-incher.
Well, I don't care. I know that. I know I don't need a 70-incher outside. I know that, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm saying, fuck it. I'm going to live life and I'm going to go for it. Okay.
Do it.
Yeah.
Nothing screams being a man like having an outdoor TV.
And Mikey and Stevie are probably going, hey, Dad, why are you blowing all this money and you're making us pay for college next year?
Well, it's a fair point.
Probably. Hey, we paid for the first 3 years. They need to learn responsibility, right?
There you go. Summer jobs on the horizon for the boys.
Yeah. They've got internships in Seattle.
Do they? Paid internships?
Paid internships, yeah.
What are
They're getting into commercial real estate. I don't know anything about that at all, but that's what they want to do.
Well, it's good. It's good because really the commercial real estate market is booming right now.
I want to see how Stevie deals with going to downtown Seattle every day. And I can already hear him going, Jesus, Dad, I can't believe you did this for as long as you did. I don't even want to do it a week.
There's hobos everywhere. I saw a guy. God, where was I?
Who cares about the hobos? It's the brake lights.
Oh, the brake light. Well, no, going downtown's not that bad anymore. Not as busy as it.
Well, getting to downtown.
Oh, getting to downtown. Yeah. Not fun. No roundabouts there in Seattle. No roundabouts to deal with.
Is it time for Egan? We didn't even come.
No, Egan's here. Yeah, he's coming momentarily. I can do something. Hey, before we get to Egan, let me promote something because they're a fine sponsor here of the radio show. Georgetown Beer has got something really cool coming up on June 3rd against the Baltimore Orioles. It is craft beer night at Georgetown Brewery and at the Mariners game. So if you purchase a Georgetown Brewing themed ticket special for $35, you get a limited edition foam cowboy hat. There's the phone. If you're streaming the show, if you're listening, go back and watch the stream. You can see what it looks like. It is a blue and yellow foam cowboy hat, Mariners logo on it, and the Georgetown logo on it. So again, it's June 3rd against Baltimore. Georgetown Brewing themed ticket special, $35, limited edition foam cowboy hat for craft beer night. Georgetown Brewing Company, of course. Georgetown Brewing Company, a fine sponsor here of the Daily Puck Drop and pucksports.com. By the way, you can see in the backdrop right over my left shoulder, yeah, the new Tavern Beer is out. Easy drinking domestic style lager. Tavern Beer. Go visit georgetownbeer.com. In fact, I'm going to be there tomorrow picking up a keg of Tavern Beer. How about that?
Nice.
So there you go. So that was that was a good little segue for them. Craft beer night. It's wonderful. Go enjoy it. June 3rd. Mariners and Padres tonight, the Vedder Cup. Do you know why it's called the Vedder Cup?
No.
You really have no idea.
No.
Have you ever heard of Eddie Vedder?
Yes.
And he is who? Do you know who he is?
Pearl Jam guy.
There you go. Front man of Pearl Jam. So as Tim Booth wrote about today, there's always been this connection. It was kind of, I think it started with San Diego reporters because he lived at a period of time in San Diego. So there was always this, for the beat reporters down in San Diego, when they would play the Mariners in spring training, they started to come up with this moniker, the Vedder Cup. We should play for the Vedder Cup. We have a connection with him. You have a connection with him. We'll play for something because we don't ever really get to play each other during the season. So we'll play it now. So now, fast forward to this year, you don't seem very entertained by this story. Yeah. It's the same reaction that many people had years reading a column about dogs.
This is what Danny would complain about when we were doing Danny, Dave, and more, that I needed to get more on board with
with the story.
And so, like, if I was bored with a topic, I had to fake it like I was really interested.
I think you
like,
should.
You want me to go back, like, and pretend you're Danny, and then not have to go to the principal's office?
What was the story?
Let me go back, rewind the tape, or whatever you have to do.
Of all the stories that he told, and probably most boring by Danny O'Neill, what was the most boring story?
Well, I don't know. He'd come up with, some. I appreciated that he was using his imagination to get creative with topics for the show. But and some of them were home runs, and some of them were caught looking.
Some of them are duds. Some of them are always duds.
But cut that part out.
So I'm just saying. Listen, I'm just going to give you the Cliff Notes version of it. They call it the Vedder Cup now between the. I'm just because you're not going to read Tim Booth's.
No, I want to play along now. God, that's great. That connection because. They used to only play in Peoria, and now that they play each other all the time, that's great that they're putting more significant.
You're not interested, and that's fine. I don't want you to be interested. I'm not concerned about you not being interested or being interested, but I'm doing this because I know you're lying. I want to go back and read Tim Booth's story. You're not going to read Tim Booth's story.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I know. Just admit you're not going to read it. So I'm telling you what is going on.
I love Booth, though. I do love Booth.
So they've actually called it the Vedder Cup now. They're going to actually play for it with the approval of him. And it's the charity. There's a charity element to it, a part of Eddie Vedder's foundation. So anyways, that's just the Cliff Notes.
We should have, is he going to throw out the first pitch tonight or?
I do not know. Someone said in the chat and they're right. The irony of it is that he's a Cubs fan. That's the best part.
Well, he's a Cubs fan?
Yeah, I think he was born in Chicago. I don't know he's born in Chicago, so he's a Cubs fan, but some connection with San Diego and Seattle.
That makes me even less interested.
There you go. Because he's a Cubs fan?
Yeah, like
if I could be any other fan, I don't know if you ever think about this one. Because when I was a kid, I'm going to give you this secondary team. You're going to laugh your ass off. If I was a fan of any other team, if I wasn't a Mariners fan, I would have loved to have been a Cubs fan.
Why?
It looks fun. And this is even before they started winning. Like even when they were losing. Just the environment. Have you ever been to Wrigley? I think it's the most fun environment I've ever been in, is Wrigley Field.
Yeah, you took the vampire there, didn't you?
I've taken him there. I've been there 3 different times.
Well, quick story about Wrigley Field, since you brought it up. I went there, let's see, I went there once with my mom. I went there once with my buddy Dan. And okay, you're yawning right now, but this is about to get more interesting, okay? And I'm not going to just go on and on, droning on and on like you were with the Vedder Cup. You know, I mean, most of your listeners right now, they're excited about the Mariners playing the Padres, but they don't give a shit about the Vedder Cup and the origin of it and all that. Okay, so Dan and we went to a game like on a Monday, and then we went to O'Hare to fly back on a Tuesday. And this is back in the day when you could do this kind of thing. We get on the flight and it's just packed, and they're all packed now, but back then they weren't that packed. And he was in the middle seat. I was in the middle seat. He turned around to me and I looked at him. He goes, "What do you say we get off the plane and head to Wrigley and go to another game? And we'll take a later flight." And we did it. They let us off we were literally on the plane to Seattle, and they let us off. We took a cab to Wrigley Field and we watched another game. We took a flight later to Seattle that night and we had a row to ourselves. It was perfect. You like that? Is that better than any of that Vedder Cup stuff or no?
Let's get to Chris Egan. He's sitting by.
Well, screw you, Puck.
Hey, Chris, were you just like, hey, don't have to come to me right away. Let's hear more about Jim and his buddy getting off a plane.
We were on the plane. You couldn't do that anymore. They changed those rules. But back then you could do that. Like if you're a baseball fan, it's like, hey, that's cool, man. You got off the plane. Not only did you go to Wrigley Field, but you took a plane later and you had a row to yourself for that 4-hour flight.
Hey,
come on.
Jim, it's a good story. And Jim, coming to your defense, last night I'm reading this script for the 11 o'clock news. And we have two awesome producers, Tony and Joel. Joel is a diehard Cougar, and he loves Seattle music. He's lived on the Queen Anne area for 35 years, grew up on MLK Way, and he's got this script that says Vedder Cup, and I'm like, is there a game tonight, Joel? Is there a soccer match I didn't know about or something? He goes, no, it's the Vedder Cup. And I'm like, what's the Vedder Cup? He goes, are you kidding me right now? I go, no, I'm asking you what the Vedder Cup is. And I go, and he wrote the script. It was he put a bunch of Pearl Jam songs in there. And I said, maybe we need to explain, Joel, to some of the viewers what the Vedder Cup is. Well, everybody knows. I go, I didn't know, Joel. So
see, hey, Puck, are you listening to this?
I know that people don't.
I know that
people don't know about it. That's why I said to go read Tim's piece on it. But then you said you were going to. But
Egan's not going to read that either.
Egan doesn't read. He doesn't know how to read.
I haven't read a book since Old Yeller back in 4th grade.
He doesn't know how to read. It's when he does the newscast. I watched it last night. It's AI voice. It's AI Chris. He doesn't.
Yeah. Hey, Jim, look at this right here. I'm 51, and my wife says, Jim, we can always get better at life, right? You know, and I've been a fan of golf my entire life, but just not a diehard golfer like you two. Starting to get into it. The boys are getting into golf. I went to an event the other night and got to hang out with Michael Putnam. So Michael Putnam gave me his nice little autographed golf hat that I can wear out on the course right now, and actually booked Michael Putnam's going to be giving my youngest son a private lesson. So I'm starting to get into this a little bit, Jim. So I'm going to be bugging you a lot, getting some golf advice here and there. So
okay, yeah, I got the Putnam brothers. I mean, they're big on.
Yeah,
Michael was great. Andrew's great. Yep.
Yeah, they got Michael went into the Tacoma Athletic Commission Hall of Fame, and my favorite story from that night, and we'll get back to what we're talking about, was another gal that went into the Hall of Fame was a gal by the name of Whitney Conder. She's a wrestler, was one of the first wrestlers ever in the state of Washington to wrestle against the boys. And they tell these stories, and they get, she was a USA wrestler, one of the greatest of all time. And when she wrestled, there was no girls wrestling. And they have these little video, and I come up before she comes up on stage because I've known Whitney for a long time, and this is one of my favorite sports stories. And I told this story. Whitney Condor was wrestling a match. She went to Puyallup High School, and she was wrestling a kid from another high school. And her mom was in the stands. And this boy comes up to the stands and says, Dad, I'm going to wrestle a girl today. And the dad's like, oh, yeah, son. He goes, guess what? I'll give you $10 if you pin her and $20 if you make her cry. And like the dad and the kid high five. He's like, you got it, Dad. I'll get my $20 in a little bit. And the mom's just sitting there literally right next to the dad. And the dad has no idea that he's about to wrestle her daughter, who's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time out of this state. 6 seconds into this wrestling match, young Whitney pins this boy. Oh. And I'm telling this story, the room is just loving it. Not only is the boy been pinned, but the boy runs off the mat crying. So Whitney comes up into the stands, says, hey, Mom, glad you're here. You know, how did I do? And she goes, honey, you did really good. You see this guy right here to the left of me? She goes, yeah, he owes you $20.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now, Jim, that's a story. That's a great story.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that beat the hell out of the Wrigley Field one. I'll give Egan that for sure.
Did she? How old is she now, Chris?
I think she's in her she's got to be mid-30s now. But what I loved was she said when she wrestled, there may have been 1 or 2 girls in the entire state of Washington, and the number I heard, I love numbers. I think they said there's over 70,000 girls now wrestling in this state.
How was she perceived back then? Like, how did she ever talk about like the blowback, and what were people angry that she was wrestling? Was there name calling and all that kind of stuff?
I think she just said there was like moments like that where it was like, oh, the girl's going to try to wrestle, you know, and you know what? I give her a lot of credit. She went to the Tacoma Dome and wrestled against some of the best boys in the state, but she paved the way for a lot of other wrestlers. And what I also said was, it's funny sometimes in these small video clips, and when you write stories, Jim, you can explain things a little bit more, but in the video clip, all it said was Whitney was a runner-up to the 2016 Olympic Games. That's all it said. And I kind of clarified. I said, you know what? That's what it says. But the real full story on this is in 2016, she went to the USA Olympic trials. She lost a very tough dual meet in the finals. It was like 12-10. And USA Wrestling only sends 1 wrestler per weight class to the Olympics. So she basically lost in the finals to this girl 12-10. That girl that went to Rio that year dominated the field. Nobody even came close to her. She wins the gold medal. So I was basically saying Whitney was like the second best wrestler in the world that year. So I mean, it's just perspective sometimes to just explain it. But you know, I give a guy by the name of Mark Blau. He is with the Tacoma Athletic Commission. He's like the encyclopedia of Pierce County sports. He puts this on every year. And I'm telling you what, Jim, they had an in memory, and I lost it a little bit because they had a piece on Tony Ventrella, but I did not know, and I am just heartbroken that Doug Drowley up there had passed away as well. And Doug wrote an article on me when I was at PLU, and I've always been close with Doug, and it just sucks, man. You look at life and all these people that we get to our age, and it's hard. So I just want a big shout out to Doug. I always enjoyed working with him. Was a great man, great writer. So
yeah, you know what? I was really surprised. I got the news on Facebook. I think it was a month or 2 ago, or maybe a few months ago. And yeah, Doug, I mean, we crossed paths on the hydro circuit, and then Puck, I think the last time I saw him, we were doing a show up at Snoqualmie Ridge, and he was covering the Boeing Classic, and class act every way. I mean, Doug
did everything right.
Mm-hmm.
In any assignment that he could possibly want, Doug would do it. High school, and I think probably enjoyed doing as much as he probably enjoyed writing about professional sports. He probably enjoyed writing more about high school sports and kids.
Yeah, he really did. He really did. So
he was really good. You have the piece that you did, we talked about it a few weeks ago, that is out there. Jim, you got to watch this piece that he did, and it came out probably a little over almost 2 weeks ago on this, I want to say young softball player, but kind of young but old softball player. by the name of Sierra.
Ciara Inovejas.
Inovejas.
Yeah, Inovejas. She goes to Edmonds, and Puck, they just won their conference title,
Wow.
Edmonds Junior College, and Jim and I are fans of the junior college world, and there's a lot of talent out there playing some pretty good baseball and softball and other sports as well, and they're getting ready for the playoffs now, and this piece is just – yeah, Puck, it's been fun to share her story and just see how she's embraced it. And I shared it at the WIA event and just talked about the importance of high school athletics. I shared it at this TAC and just talked about the importance of sports. And I'm doing one more event tomorrow night, Corks and Crush for multi-care hospitals. And I probably will share it again just because it talks about what doctors can do and how they can get you back on your feet. And yeah.
Is everything okay at home? I mean, it feels like you're really doing a lot of these MC events. I mean, are you hard up for some money here, or what's everything okay?
Well, Puck, here's the thing. I don't really get much for these events. It's me giving back. I call May the month of May. The wife, meanwhile, has been working 33 days in a row. She's the one actually making money for the family.
Yeah, well, okay.
And I get to go out, and you know what? I'm going to be honest. If I could retire now and just go to nonprofit events and sit there and raise a paddle and help, I mean, I'd love it. There's just so much, I don't know. There's so much need out there. And I think we live in a world, and I've said this, where you turn on the news, shooting in Puyallup, fatal in Tacoma, guy jumps off West Seattle Bridge. And I was mentioning this, I'm like, it's happening, but God, there's a lot of good stuff happening out there too.
But Jim, he'd have some stiff competition in the MC world if he would dip his toe into that full time. Who would of the three, right?
John Curley, I think.
John Curley, Chris Egan, and G. Scott. I'm not sure who I'd go with that three.
Yeah, Chris, you know what though? I bet you're pretty good with the auction part of the program, aren't you? Like if somebody bids $250, are you like, come on, this is worth $500?
Well,
or
that's probably where I'm not my best, Jim, is because I kind of have a heart, and some of these auctioneers are just brutal. They'll like just go right into your face and like, Jim, I don't care about your 401k. You got to
blow
it
these now.
Kids,
it's for the kids.
Give us all. And I'm like, no, we're good. That's good. We're fine there. We don't need any more money. But I will say this, it's interesting. I always try to get a little perspective from suburbia, if you will, and the outskirts on what's the vibe right now with sports. And I'm telling you what, guys, I've done 8 events, and you just mentioned the word Mariners, and the place goes wild. I mean, there is just
even after the 1-5 homestand, huh?
Yeah, even after the 1-5 homestand, there's just a little buzz in the air. Even after 60% of our starting rotation is on the injured list right now, it's a good buzz. And then I'm going to need you two switching from Mariners to Seahawks to try to. Paul Sylvie and I went through the schedule,
okay,
and we get out of the schedule, and we got them at 12-5, and we look at each other like, that's not going to happen.
You both had them at 12-5.
We both had them at 12-5, and we went through it, and we're like, wait a second, Jim, the over I think in Vegas is 8.5 right now.
I think it's 7.5.
Yeah,
what are they seeing? What am I missing with this team, guys?
Well, Sam Darnold of his first 5 years of his career, and Sam Darnold at the end of the season.
So they're factoring all that in.
I think they're factoring all of that in, right, Jim? I mean, you would take the over, would you not?
I'm taking the over, Jim. I'm taking the over.
Yeah, well, yeah. Sometimes though in gambling, Chris, when something looks too obvious, you want to go either stay away from it or go the other way.
And this looks obvious to me, Jim.
It'll probably, those guys are so good in Vegas, it'll probably come down the last game. The Seahawks will go into it, and they'll be, 7-9, and you're thinking, okay, they got to win this last game against San Francisco, and yeah,
I'm with you. I think they're going to be over. I think 12-5 is realistic. I'm optimistic about what they're going to be. I mean, obviously it starts with the quarterback and how he plays, but if he plays like he did last year at times, that's very much in the cards. It's not like a daunting schedule. I mean, I know
that was the thing.
5 of the last 8 are on the road, but again, all those are winnable games. I love the way that schedule starts too. I love opening up with San Francisco. I love closing with San Francisco.
Yeah.
I love where the bye is. I love the primetime games.
Puck, I love the first preseason game on King 5 TV, if I'll throw that out there. I mean, it's going to be, you got Pete Carroll coming back. I mean, come on. I mean,
great.
I mean, I like that. Get that out of the way in the preseason. Get the 12s going all crazy and stuff like that. So I'm fine with it. I'm with you, Puck. Have
you guys followed this story at all about the Seahawks changing? Chris might have to tread water here because they're partners. On the story. Have you seen
did I mention all the preseason games, Puck, are on King 5 this year?
Have you seen where they
Michael Bennett and who else? Who's the other?
We got Michael Bennett.
There's Lynch back and all those guys. Michael
Robinson.
Michael Robinson, Cliff Avrils jumps on there once in a while. Yeah.
What like overhyped national broadcaster are we bringing in to do the games instead of a local guy, Chris?
Well, usually they like Kurt Menefee, who I love because he doesn't call Paul Sylvie, he calls him Sylvie. He just Sylvie. And Paul's like, does he know I have a first name?
No, I think just Sylvie. I think you should do one preseason game with all the Swifties on the broadcast.
Oh, that would be great.
The weather.
Well, and now I mean, now we're bringing Michael Jordan to King 5. I mean, that's going to be big.
Oh, that's right, because it's NBA returns next year.
NBA returns, yeah.
So here's the thing: have you guys read this? Have you read the story where the Seahawks are going to change the ticket policy?
No.
If they find out that you are selling the majority of your tickets, at the end of the year, they will reevaluate you as a season ticket holder and have the right now to pull your tickets.
I'm okay with that. If you're selling all your tickets to 49ers fans and Rams fans, then Puck, you know what? Yeah, this is our house. Time to protect the house, Puck. Come on.
But isn't it my right to do with the tickets that I buy? It's my money, not their money. It's my money.
Their right to sell them to you, right?
Puck, if you're going to pander to your listeners, you got to agree with Egan. Come on, man.
I don't want to pander. I'm just asking. But here's the thing: like, what's the majority? They didn't give like a specific game. They just said if we think you're selling too much.
Okay, but how will they know who they're selling them to?
That's a good question.
Let's say you sell all your tickets and it's to your uncle who's a huge Seahawks fan too.
I don't know. I mean, are they going to go and check every seat and then like fact check next to your neighbor to be like, did you sell it to a fan? I guess they'll look at like who purchased it. If they're from out of state, they're traveling up from California. They must be a 49ers fan. But what if it's a 49ers fan that's from Tacoma? A lot of 49er fans in Tacoma.
Yeah, Puck, I'm saying this is just, and I don't know for a fact here, I think this is just one of those warnings that goes out in life where they're like, let's throw this out there.
It doesn't mean anything.
Will it really mean it? It's like the curbside parking. You know, it's only the online people get to park here. Who's checking that at Dutch?
I park there every time I go to a store. Every time.
Checking the Safeway if you ordered it?
I think it's a stupid policy. They don't have enough people
to bag your groceries, let alone check the parking lot.
I think it's stupid.
There you go.
It's dumb. I honestly think it's one of the lamest things I've seen a franchise ever do. It's pathetic, actually.
I don't think it's that.
Okay, why? Why? It's
because it's lame. It's just, you know what? Win more games. How about that? Then you know what's going to happen when you win more? More of your fans show up. You've been irrelevant for 10 years. Irrelevant.
No, that's going too far.
Yes, they have.
They have
Hold on. They have been irrelevant. Hold on.
I know about being irrelevant, and they're not irrelevant.
How can you say that? They're the #1 rated team in Seattle. More sports radio and podcasts and newspapers and TVs talk about the Seahawks.
I know that.
It's saying like the weather. When in doubt, lead with the Seahawks. So they're not irrelevant. I mean,
I'm irrelevant from a championship standpoint, not irrelevant in the city. They're irrelevant on the championship scope of winning the whole thing.
But
do you Do you disagree with that?
Well, they've been contenders every year.
No, they're not. They have not been contenders for 10 years.
Okay.
You are lying to yourself if you think that.
Well, they've made the playoffs the majority of the time.
Yeah, fine. But have they really contended for the Super Bowl in 10 years? Really contended? Come on. I'm a huge Seahawks fan. I love them, but come on, they have not been contenders
Well,
for 10
I
years.
think we have to be fair and agree with you. They haven't been contending for a Super Bowl, but I think you get a team into the playoffs, Puck, and you never know. Anything can happen.
That's more baseball, though. You know that. That's not football. Is more. You get in, the better teams always win for the most part. Baseball, I agree with you on baseball, but I just think to me, it's a product of they haven't been as good for 10 years. So people have sold their tickets more. Why have they sold their tickets more? Because they keep raising the ticket prices every year. How about don't raise the ticket prices? And maybe they won't sell them as much. But when you raise them every year, then people are like, oh, I want to keep them, but I also need to kind of pay for them. And I know I know people that sell them that make their money back like on 3 games.
See, I just have a hard time. I just don't know how they're going to evaluate. What are they going to come up to you afterwards? It looks like week 3 you sold a ticket to somebody in Oregon. Yeah, it was Uncle Ben. He's a huge Seahawks fan. I mean, what are they going to – they're not going to bring you to a jury. Like, it's not a courtroom hearing here. I mean – I think we're
but also, don't you think also it was – I know maybe it's been more of a trend – last year, but I mean, look at the schedule that they had at home last year. And my point would be, look at the teams that came in. Those teams that came in last year, those are notorious teams that travel. They just are. Let me ask you, were there a bunch of Dolphin fans in the stadium last year? There wasn't, because I was at that game. There wasn't. Were there a bunch of Giants fans? No. San Francisco always travel. Yep. We're talking about Buffalo because these people, they're lunatics.
You never see Buffalo here. Yeah,
you never see Buffalo. So, of course, they wanted to come out.
Well,
they've never been there before.
And, Puck, I already know for a fact right now, I've got a buddy he's bought 12 tickets to see the Minnesota Vikings because that's his team and he lives here. And so, I mean – yeah, you just never get a chance to see
And the other team that everyone got up in arms about was Green Bay. Green Bay is a national team.
Yeah.
They've always been that way. People have grown up being Packers fans.
You don't have Culver's restaurants around the United States because Wisconsin natives only live in Wisconsin. They're everywhere.
God, I love Culver's.
Culver's is awesome. Every time I'm in Arizona, forget In and Out. I go to Culver's.
How about that milkshake at Culver's?
Oh. I get the deep fried cheese curds that go.
Cheese curds.
And the burger's underrated there.
The custard ice cream, just get it in the waffle cone.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, honestly, Jim, I'm with you. In and Out, Culver's. I'm going to Culver's.
Yeah.
More selection.
You know what's better than In and Out is the place down by you, that Frisco Freeze. Frisco Freeze is better.
Freeze
it's better than In and Out.
Out and about, yeah.
Come on. Frisco Freeze is unbelievable.
All right. By the way, guys, had to run down to Phoenix. You'll love this one and get my kid out of college.
That's why you weren't here last week.
Yeah, I had to clean his apartment, and let's just say I put rubber gloves on.
Because the bathrooms are the worst.
Oh God, Jim! It was like 3 baseball kids that I found cookies that my mom had sent back in January.
What, they didn't eat them?
No, they were up in the cabinet. And then I go out in the patio, and it's just like there's Wingstop bags, there's food, there's a bowl of rice. I'm just like these guys not know like that rats can come and animals feed off this stuff. But
weren't we the same way though?
Probably. I don't remember the bathrooms being that dirty though.
Yeah, I actually told my wife, I remember a scene in college, not a scene, it really happened, where I had a couch and I just threw all my tennis clothes over the couch. And I was looking for one of my uniforms one day and I pull off a shirt and all of a sudden just probably like 50,000 fruit flies just in my room, just exploded. And it was from I think I threw a couple bananas on the couch and they'd been there for a couple weeks. So yeah, Puck, we were like that. So
I remember when my mom, when we moved out of the frat in college and went to one of those live out houses, the live out houses where everyone leaves the fraternity, goes to the live out party house. And I was in one of these party houses that in my room. I slept on a couch, didn't even have enough room for a bed. I slept on a couch. I remember she came there for the first time, and this place was so disgusting. You'd walk in our front room, and because we had so many parties in the living room, the carpet was just sogged with beer, and it smelled like stale beer. She walked in, walked around there for maybe a minute, walked outside, and started crying. Can't believe you live here.
Oh,
and we pay for this.
I went up to the University of Washington on a Sunday with my dad in the wood-paneled station wagon to Cy Upsilon because we were going to go visit brother Mike Egan. And we get there, and my dad just like starts not crying. Ed Egan takes initiative and literally just grabs a sack and starts cleaning up the entire outside, where obviously they had a big party the night before. And my brother says there was an announcement through Cy Upsilon that like, attention, there's some homeless guy in the front yard picking up all the It was just my dad.
Just my dad.
Cleaning up the house on a Sunday.
I think we need Ed Egan on the show at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, no filter, Ed. It would definitely be good podcasting.
I think he would fit right in, would he not?
Yeah, I think.
What's the summer, before we go here? What's the summer in store now for Austin Egan? Where is he playing? Is he playing a summer ball team?
Yeah, so he's kind of been busy talking with a lot of Division I schools right now, and has some good conversations going. He had a great season down at Chandler Gilbert. I think made 26 appearances down there out of the bullpen.
Wow.
Had a I think was second in this Arizona Junior College, very competitive league, and they made it to the playoffs. He had a good run, and now talking. And then he's going to go back up. They signed these little contracts for the summer, so he's going to go back up and play in Edmonton for the Riverhawks.
Nice.
Loved it last year. Kids from all over the country coming there, and it's good, just awesome baseball. And we're going to go up there a couple times. And heck, you got the Oilers now that own that town. It's
Where's he
buzzing.
playing next year, Chris?
That's he's kind of chatting right now, Jim. So he's got his 2 years of junior college ball under his belt, and so now he's talking to coaches all across the country. So we'll see. I mean, the good news is when you're a pitcher, a lot of these guys need pitchers. So it's just I'll say this. We were talking about this earlier today, not only baseball, but basketball. It is a crazy world out there with college sports. With these coaches now wait for the transfer portal.
Sure.
Most of these coaches now don't even look at high school kids. They go right to the D2 and junior college world. Like, why would I get a 17 or 18-year-old when I can get a 21, 22-year-old? So the high school kids get pushed back a little bit. The junior college kids are now like waiting in as far as baseball for the seasons to end, the portals to open. It's a crazy world out there for these kids. So, but yeah, you know what? In the end, he loves the game. He's still working hard, and that's all we care about. So that's
all right. I got a quick question for you guys before you leave, because my kids' baseball careers are over. Okay, their gambling careers are just getting started. They're 21 years old, and they're both in Vegas right now. Okay, so how would you have handled this situation? Stevie lost some money on the Mariners and maybe playing craps or whatever. So he's down $120, and he texted me and told me about it. I decided that I was going to send him. I Venmo'd him $150 because I thought there's nothing worse than being in Vegas when you're down to nothing. You can't gamble anymore. Okay, was that good parenting, bad parenting? Should I have? Because like this one guy, commented that, oh, you got to teach your son a lesson, about gambling. I thought, shit, man. He can learn other lessons along the way. I want him to have fun in Vegas, so I sent him some money.
He is learning a lesson. He's learning how to chase his money.
Yeah. Jim, let me give you not brown nosing you, but let me just give you a compliment to you as a father right now that I think you should embrace this, because I think it's big, and people could say whatever they want to you about this, and Puckett's laughing, but I think this is legit. Guess what your kid did, Jim? He texts you, and he texts you the truth. He was very open about what just happened. A lot of kids don't do that anymore. So I compliment you there. So you just keep doing whatever you're doing because I think it's working, man.
Yeah, but he tells them the truth about needing money to gamble more, but he lies about everything else, Egan.
Well, I didn't hear anything about those lies. All I heard was this kid called in and said, "Hey, I lost some money, Dad."
Hey,
not every kid would do that.
Real quick, because I don't know if Egan knows the story, but I want to any update on Neighborgate, Jim. His neighbors hate him in Bend. Chris,
I've heard this. I saw the letter.
Yeah, the letter. Can you imagine getting a letter like that?
It's trending on social media right now.
Well, you have been the worst addition to this neighborhood, and many of us wish you never moved here.
Listen, Chris,
I can't wait for the barbecue.
I'm taking measures to be a better neighbor. I'm not going to park out there anymore. I'm not going to have my dogs barking. I didn't realize that. I realized the parking was an issue. Okay, that was my fault. Yeah. But the dogs barking, I didn't know they were barking. But I'm going to address all of those things and hopefully have a neighborhood party and maybe this guy will come over. I don't know.
Well, this podcast, Jim, I'm going to tell you what. I don't think Puck knows how powerful this podcast is because. About 4 months ago, I think I complained on this podcast about a certain area of my lawn in the front getting pooped on by dogs, and it's been clean sailing ever since that podcast. So whoever's dog was doing it is obviously a fan of Jason Puckett, and they listen to this podcast. So I just want to say, whatever neighbor listens, thank you. It makes my life easier. As I'm taking care of the yard in the front, so I appreciate
but
that.
Jim, you're not going to go around with the letter and knock on the doors. You're just going to let it die.
Chris, he was telling me I should do that. I should go to every neighbor's door, knock on the door. Hey, did you write this?
Then you're just then it's just turning into you're just making it bigger. This is what I tell people on social media. When somebody says something quick, when you decide to react to it, all you're doing is just blowing it up. Just ignore it, and move on, and just do be a good neighbor. And who knows, this person maybe just had a
bad day.
Had a crappy day. Decided I'm taking it out on Jim Moore today, and it happens in life. Sometimes people just have really bad days, and they decide they can't take it out on themselves. They don't want to look at the mirror, so they take it out on somebody else. So that's what I think. I think we were a victim of that, Jim. So
that's why we bring you on. All right, boys. Great Friday visit as always. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okay, Puck. Take care. Go Cougs.
There he is. See you, Jim. See you, Chris. There they are. Go Cougs there to one Jim Moore, his weekly appearance. Well, 3 times a week. Brought to you by A Clean Streak, a professional window and exterior cleaning services. All right. You never know where that conversation's going to go when the 3 of us get together. All right. We wrap up. We're getting close to wrapping up our Friday daily puck drop. Hey, a reminder, by the way, on all this, because we're adding so many more new shows, right? We got the Sports Pit. We got Ryan. Well, we always had Divish. The Sports Pit that comes out on Mondays. Just a reminder. We got a new feature that comes out every Thursday with Mitch Levy, Mitchy the Kid, Mitch Unfiltered. Of course, he's been doing the podcast game for a while now, and he's killing it, as always. So he joins me every Thursday now on the live show here on the Daily Puck Drop. And so we give it to you for free. In live for the live audience that checks in. But once the show is over at 11:30, it's the only time we do this. We take down the show from Twitter, and then the interview or the podcast with myself and Mitch will just be for either Puck's Posse members, which you can go to pucksports.com and sign up there, or you can be a member of the Mitch Unfiltered patrons, which if you go to his website, mitchunfiltered.com, or go to patreon.com/mitchythekid, you can sign up there. Either way works. It doesn't matter. Both are $5 a month. So just want to pass that along. Every Thursday, Mitch will be on. He and I, every Thursday during the live show, but once it's over, it will just be for Puck's Posse members and patrons there of Mitch Unfiltered. This week was a good one. It was pretty funny yesterday. So if you're wondering, hey, wait, I know he was on yesterday, but it's not in. I went to YouTube or I went to the podcast channels. It's not in there because I've taken it out. So if you want to listen to it or watch it, sign up today at pucksports.com. We close every Friday, or we don't close because we come back for Hey, What the Puck. We have the Scout. Scout's been a friend of mine for many, many years, anonymous Major League Baseball scout. He currently works for a team, coached college baseball, joins me every Friday to talk about the game, talk about the Mariners specifically. Another edition of our Friday Visit with the Scout. That time of week, it's the Scout, the real scoop on the Seattle Mariners in baseball from our anonymous baseball scout who currently works for a Major League Baseball team, and he's been covering the sport for the past 30 years. He's a wealth of knowledge, and he joins us every Friday. Scout, how are you, sir?
I'm great, Puck. How are you, my man?
Doing great. Just baseball. Our Los Marineros did not have a great homestand. They went 1-5. They're leaking oil just a little bit. Now they head out on a 10-game road trip, 3 cities. It starts this evening against the San Diego Padres. Before we get into a bunch of different topics, we're going to talk Ben Williamson, Cole Young, Brian Wu. I'd love to know what you look for in a prospect right away. I'm also going to throw you a wild card of build your perfect player. I know there's no such thing as perfect, but just let's play around with it. We're going to give the Mariners, they have a top pick. They've got a 3rd overall pick this year. And then is there a change in baseball that you would like to see from a scouting standpoint? But let's start first with this. We knew they wouldn't maintain this level of play offensively. We always thought there was going to be a drop, and we're seeing the drop here a little bit. How far do you think that drop could go, or what they've been able to do in the beginning portion of the season of striking out less and walking more? Do you still see that to be sustainable as we move forward with the season?
Yeah, and I think probably not as good offensive team as they were early, and probably not as bad as offensive team they've been now. There's probably somewhere in the middle. And when you do have young players, I know we're going to talk about Williamson and those guys. I mean, they're getting more experience, right? And the more experience that you have, you're going to do a better job, especially managing the strike zone. And that just means, hey, am I swinging at strikes? Am I taking balls? And they've done a better job of that. And obviously, that's probably the influence of Edgar and Seitzer and just the overall offensive philosophy for their organization.
All right, let's get into one player that we have talked about before, Scout, and that is Ben Williamson. He got off to a great start. He has cooled off since that start, and now it's led some people, Scout, to start to wonder, maybe he's not the answer now at third base. And I think it's funny because we're talking about, I don't know, I think it's like 25 games that he's played so far. What have you seen, or the things that at least you saw down in the minors, I'm sure are going to carry over into this level? And the more film and more data you get, the more that you get exposed. From my eyes, and obviously don't have the eyes that you do, I can see that, some of his struggles at the plate. The glove, I've heard people complain about his glove. I just simply don't see that. I still see a guy making a ton of plays out there.
Yeah, he's a playmaker. And really, I mean, he's probably going to be really I don't think serviceable is the right word for him, Buck. Just a really steady Eddie player for the Mariners. And unfortunately, they need a little bit more offense, but their pitching is so good. There's going to be a bunch of soft contact. And he's a playmaker at 30. He's really rangy. So when I look at a guy like Williamson, sure, everybody, when you're talking baseball, right, so it's all about the offense, right? How many runs do you drive in? Well, he might not drive in as many as you want from your corner infield, but he's also going to save some runs with his glove. I always say, can you drive in runs with your glove? And that's what you're doing. He's preventing some runs on the defensive end. So you like that. He's only got 97 at bats in the big leagues. His big league career is less than 100 at bats. Right. And so, I mean, he's hitting 234. The average third baseman in the big leagues hits 246. So he's a little bit underneath, obviously the average third baseman. What he doesn't do right now, he doesn't walk, right? I mean, he only walks 3% of the time. So he's up there hacking. So, he needs to do a better job. But he's 24 years old. He's a young player, and it's his first taste in the big leagues. So I don't think he's going to be a superstar. I don't think he's going to be an all-star. I think he's going to be a really good player.
The not walking, that was, I would assume, also a trend when he was in the minors as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a huge walk guy over his career. In AAA, he was in AAA this year, only 60 at bats. He only walked 5% of the time, right? So it's not like he's a big walk guy. But, the years prior in 2024, he walked about 13, 14% of the time over, 500 some bats at, A ball and AA. But really, you got to look at his big league stats because that's where he's at right now. And my guess is he's going to be in the big leagues for the year unless, they make a trade or he gets hurt. So I just don't think 100 at bats is really that fair for him. I think he's a really good player. And I think, the power comes later in your career. And that's what you're looking for from a corner infield is you want power. So I think, like I said, I don't think he's ever going to be that, 40 home run hitter type guy. But I think he's that guy that's going to be able to hit you, 250 to 275 and maybe hit you 15 to 20 home runs and be a really good defender.
And you don't see any issues with the glove right now.
No, not at all. I mean, it's just he's a good player. They make errors, right? That's life. But like once again, it's 100 at bats in the big leagues. That's all he's ever had. So it means he hasn't played that much either. So he's going to be a really solid to above average defender every day.
All right, the Cole Young experience just keeps getting better and better, Scout. Last 13 games down with the Rainiers, his slash line's 347. He's 439, 653, and over 1,000 OPS. He has only struck out 4 times. He's garnered 6 walks. He's homered 3 times, and he's driven in 8. He's 21 years of age. He was the Mariners' first-round pick back in the 2022 draft, selected 21st overall. We've talked about him before. Where does he profile? Shortstop, second base, all that. Scout, is he making it hard on this team as it continues to go later this summer to not bring him up at some point?
Yeah, but I hope they don't for a while. Like I said, it's last year. You're talking his first season at AA or above. So he's basically got he's over the 1,000 minor league at bat mark, right? So he's getting really close. Years ago, you'd need 1,500 at bats before they played you up in the big leagues. But a really, really really talented guy, and with what they've got kind of going on with their injuries and whatnot, he might be pressed into action a little bit sooner than you'd want them to. And I always wonder about that, Buck. Obviously, think about Zunino. You always wonder, do they rush? Not just the Mariners, just baseball in general. Sometimes when you rush a guy up there and they don't have the success, they stunt their growth and they're never the player they could be. So my guess is that they don't need to use him right now. But like I said, I think it's coming soon.
Is he? We've discussed it before, but I'm going to ask again for those who may be wondering. Shortstop, second base. Which do you think is the preference?
Probably, I think he can play short. I think they're going to stick in there as long as they can, obviously, because you look in the big leagues. And JP's getting older, right? So my guess is they're going to keep him at shortstop, and if he can stick at shortstop, he'll be the shortstop of the future, would be my guess. Okay.
Has he ever has he ever played third? I'm just curious.
That I don't know.
Okay. I'm just curious if that would ever be a consideration there for Cole Young. He's a fascinating player, though. He you've heard so much about him. He just continues to deliver down there with the Tacoma Rainiers. Hey, I don't know about you, Scout. I love watching Brian Wu pitch. And I've said this before, and we talked about it this week with him, is that he's kind of a throwback to me because, with today's pitcher, and I think about the guys with the Mariners, and Logan Gilbert, and even Bryce Miller and George Kirby. One of the fun exercises with those guys as they come back after their offseason workouts when they get to spring trainings, they talk about all the different pitches they've been working on, their new pitch that they have. And then I watch Brian Wu pitch, he just throws fastballs, all the time. Like fastball, 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 fastball. And I think you're always reminded in this crazy, stupid, awesome sport, boy, the fastball will always play. It's like football, right? There always will be a place for the running back and running the football. As much as everyone wants to throw it all over the place, if you can run the football, you're going to be fine. And if you can locate and have a really, really good fastball like Brian Wu does, doesn't matter what your secondary stuff is at times because that will always play.
Yeah, no question. I wish more people at the amateur and youth level would watch what he does, right? It's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And he's got action to it, right? His fastball moves in both directions. It can sink, but he throws it 70+% of the time, right? That's just what he throws, and he's really, really good at it. He can throw it at the top of the zone. He can throw it at the bottom of the strike zone. He can do a lot of different things and with that pitch. But, I think people showcase too many pitches, and I think they get beat with their worst pitch. He's never one of those. He's never going to be one of those guys that gets beat with his worst pitch. He's going to challenge you with that fastball, and it's like I said, it's think about like Mariano Rivera. Like very few guys can just. I mean, you can't throw a breaking pitch as much all the time because you're going to end up hurting yourself. But if you got a guy that has like a cutter or a fastball and you can throw and be that dominant with one pitch, you got something special. I mean, and that's exactly what, Rivera did with this cutter. He just threw the cutter and he could just, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer just with one pitch. And Wu right now is as good as anybody in the rotation. And he truly, honestly does it with one pitch in the big scheme of things.
It is remarkable. It's sometimes when I watch him and he has just that just gorgeous Ryan Divish, our MLB insider, and I were talking about this week. He just has this real gorgeous rhythmic pitching routine. It just looks the same every single time. He never deviates from it one bit. And it's he's got that little rock to it. And he does something with his glove, and he just repeats it. It's just like the most repeatable motion on this staff, it looks like to me, and it just seems it's great. Yeah, it's fun to watch.
And he's got a really fast arm, like I said, and hopefully he can just, like I said, he can stay healthy. But he's fun because, like I said, it's not he's just going up. Sometimes it just looks like he's throwing batting practice out there, really good batting practice.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not. His stuff is good. Like I'm not trying to, like I say, that he doesn't have good stuff because the fastball is obviously really special. But I just like how he does it because he just does it simple.
Mm-hmm. What do you look for right away with a prospect?
Well, it all depends. If you're on the amateur side, like if you're high school. Because my job entails watching guys on the high school side and the college side, as well as the minor league side and the big league side. So if you want to start with the young kids, high school guys, for one, you're looking at projectable bodies, right? So when you're looking at high school players, you're really thinking, hey, what are they going to look like in 36 months? What are they going to look like in 48 months? So the guys that you can dream on, those are the guys that you like. And then obviously, if you're interested in signing a high school player and sending him straight to minor league baseball, he has to have a carrying tool, right? You can't. Sure, there's going to be development, but those guys have to have some now stuff on the mound, or they've got to have a really truly ability to hit. Because if they don't, with no short season of rookie ball anymore, they really they'll struggle, and sometimes they'll never get past those struggles. On the college side, right, you're seeing them playing against higher and also on the high school side. It can be difficult because very rarely, unless they're in these showcase events, you're not going to, like the high school kids, the high profile high school kids, even let's say in the Northwest this year, they're not facing other guys to their ability, right? They're the better players. So that's tough at times. College wise, you're watching guys grow and you're tracking them from high school, and then you see them, against higher level competition, and you want them to, hopefully their bodies have changed, but you want to also see their maturity and whatnot. So, body type and tools is really what you're looking for. Because on the pro side and the big league side, the amateur side, the minor league side are a little bit different because you don't get makeup. You don't know a lot about the players. When you're scouting on the amateur side, you learn all about those players and their character before you even have an opportunity to sign those guys.
If you were as a scout to build the perfect player today, right? The bat, the speed, the defense, the baseball IQ.
Yeah.
Give me like a piece from each one. The bat would be who at the major league level?
Judge.
Okay.
I mean, it's probably not even close. He just, now that he can, Judge can, sure, he's a thumper, the guys can hit it over the fence, but now it's different because they're just, he's done a really good job. Obviously he's an unbelievable player, but now what he's done such a good job of is he now swings to the right pitches, right? This guy is hitting for a high average right now too. It's because they're scared to death of him. If you throw him in, right, they think he's going to hit it out of the park, which he could, but he's so big and strong that he misses balls out of the ballpark, right? He just absolutely misses balls. But, and his strikeout percentage each year is going down. Now this year he's only striking out 22% of the time, and, he's walking 12% of the time. So his walks are a little bit down, but his strikeouts are down too as well. So offensively, I'd start with him. Speed-wise, let's just stay in the Northwest. I'd take Corbin Carroll. I think Corbin's game speed, is as good as anybody's, and he uses it all the time. The thing I like so much about Corbin Carroll is that, he's going to run all the time, every time, right? He's never going to just turn it on and turn it off. A lot of guys do that, right? A lot of guys, Some guys are, I think we talked about it before. Somebody asked me back in the day about Kelnick, how old does he run? And I'm like, I have no idea, because he never runs. I never get a good time on him because he just doesn't run. So I think I'd go with Carroll. Defensively, I think, and I could have went with this guy on speed-wise, but I picked him on defense. It's probably Bobby Witt Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Bobby Witt, he's fantastic, man. And defensively at shortstop is, the toughest position to play on the field. And he does it with ease. He's got arm strength. He's got above average hands. He's got above average speed. I mean, he's a rare talent when it comes. Those are some of the tools. And then probably intelligence. I really like Patrick Bailey as catcher for the Giants. He's just one of those guys. He can really defend too. But I think he calls a good game. I think he's smart and physical. So you put all those four guys together, you got something special.
Yeah. Yes. Is there anyone that would be available that fits all of those qualities that you just mentioned in the upcoming amateur draft at number 3? Mariners got for people don't know this. The Mariners got the 3rd overall pick in this year's amateur draft. Who's going to be there? Who would you take? I don't know if you can answer who you'd take, but
yeah, I probably couldn't give you the right answer because on the amateur side, I'm in the Northwest. I don't see the entire country. I mean, I see video and I'll see guys from time to time. But usually it's a little bit different now because the draft's changed. Like you said, the Mariners are in a different situation. Usually, especially the first 4 or 5 picks in the draft, those guys are the worst teams. They're the season before with the worst records, right? So when you're the worst records, you're looking for guys to help your big league club sooner. So that's why guys that pick at the top of the draft, most often they pick college players because the college players are closer to the big leagues. They're closer to big league ready. So I couldn't tell you who the Mariners would pick at 3, but I will tell you we can talk about some of the Northwest guys that I see.
Yeah.
There's a left-handed pitcher down in Oregon named Cruz Schoolcraft, and I wouldn't be surprised if Cruz is one of the first 10 picks in the draft.
Okay.
He's a 6'8" left-hander, and throwing up to 97 miles an hour with the best high school changeup I've seen. So he's a stock high school player. Another one now that I think he'll go in the first 10 picks, or he has a chance, obviously. Washington, Mount Vernon's got a young man named Xavier Nimes. Power hitting third. He's a shortstop for Mount Vernon, but he'll go to third base or corner infield or corner outfield type guy. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the first 20 picks. There's another Northwest player down in Bend, Oregon, Slater DeBrun. He's a flyer. He can really, really run. He's got some Corbin Carroll in him. I'm not saying he's Corbin Carroll because that's unfair to both of them, but he's kind of that type of player. And I could see him going in the first 30 picks. And then another high school player that's really highly touted from Washington Puyallup is Mason Pike. He's a two-way player, but he's really good on the mound. So I could see him being the first 40 or 50 picks. So when it comes to high school, the Northwest has got four guys that are, first, second round type guys. And then the college is always good. Oregon State has an unbelievable shortstop named Ava Arquette that was at the University of Washington the last 2 years, and 6'5" shortstop. It was an unbelievable high school basketball player. He's going to be a first round pick. No question about it. Some people think he might be the first college bat taken. There's another outfielder down in Oregon, University of Oregon, Mason Novell, that's leading the country in home runs, and I could see him being a late round pick. So the Northwest is going to have some high profile picks. It'll be interesting to fun to see, who they take up and down the draft. But when the Mariners are in a different situation because they're really good up the middle, right? They've got some really, really good young shortstops. This is a pretty good high school shortstop class too as well. Couple from California, one from Oklahoma. There's another Holiday coming up, Ethan Holiday. Jackson went first a couple years ago, and Ethan has a chance. So it'll be interesting. There's been no really clear cut number one. It sounds like throughout the country, if you talk to 10 teams, you might have 6 different guys going number one. So it'll be interesting to see.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. He's the scout. He joins us every single Friday to wrap up our week. The real scoop on the M's and baseball from our anonymous baseball scout, who has been working at Major League Baseball for almost his entire life. He's been around baseball for the past 30 years. He's been all over it, and he is a weekly Friday guest with us. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk next week. Thanks, Scout.
Thanks, Mike.
There he is, the scout every Friday with us here on the Daily Puck Drop and PuckSports.com, getting the latest on the M's, Ben Williamson, Cole Young. And Cole Young is making it really difficult maybe eventually for this team if they do want to make a decision or bring him up at some point. He is tearing the cover off the ball down there in Tacoma. And he's pressing the need. It's not a need right now, but certainly as the season goes on, he will continue to kind of push the envelope and press what is taking place, because he has been phenomenal. I got to get down there and watch him. I've been in Tacoma for a long time watching a game down there. I love it. And I love going up to Everett. I love to watch the Aqua Sox, all that kind of stuff. All right, a couple of housekeeping things before we sign off here with Hey, What the Puck. Let's give you a update right now on the PGA Championship, and of course all of our golf coverage, including the PGA Championship update, also our Puck the Picker update, Majors Golf Pool, all brought to you by our good friends at Synthetic Turf Northwest. Puck the Picker Majors Pool is back, brought to you by syntheticturfnorthwest.com. Tired of that muddy backyard? Look at this beautiful backyard. Look how pretty it looks with that 3-hole putting green. Tired of the cost of watering your lawn? Synthetic Turf Northwest is pet friendly. They do synthetic lawn installation, custom turf installation, and with golf here, give you a golf green installation as well. Sign up today, syntheticturfnorthwest.com. And Synthetic Turf Northwest brings you, of course, our coverage of the PGA Championship. Round 2 is underway, and the story of Round 2 has been Max Homa. Max Homa, who has gotten rid of social media, threw it. So I'm off Twitter. I'm not doing Twitter anymore. It looks like it's paying off. 7 under 64 today. He has vaulted up the leaderboard, and I think like 70 spots. He's at 5 under overall. He is, though, 5 shots off the lead because Johnny Vegas is 3 under through 17 today. So he has backed up his strong first round with another strong second round, and he is currently at 10 under. Luke Donald underway, Ryder Cup captain for Team Europe. He's 1 under through 6. He's at 5 under. Other notable names, Matt Fitzpatrick making a little bit of a move. Well, it's early on, 1 under through 3. He's at 4 under. Bryson DeChambeau was a 3 under 68 today, so he is currently 7 shots off the lead. Team USA Ryder Cup captain, that was another big story of round 1. Keegan Bradley will tee off here shortly, and he is at 3 under, was the first round lead. Joe Highsmith from Tacoma, shout out Tacoma Country Club. Joe Highsmith, a 4 under 67 today for the left-hander, and he currently is at 2 under for the championship. And again, our coverage of the PGA Championship and Puck the Picker Majors Pool, all brought to you by Synthetic Turf Northwest, syntheticturfnorthwest.com. Get rid of the muddy backyard. Stop watering your lawn. Give yourself an oasis in your backyard. That's what we call our backyard, is an oasis, because of our decision to go with Synthetic Turf Northwest. We got a synthetic turf lawn installation, put in a 3-hole putting green. Best decision we ever made. We're out there, we're chipping, we're putting. The dogs love it. They roll around. They're not muddy. It's pet friendly if you're concerned about that. Then we take out the tees, or we take out the flags, and we're hitting ground balls back there if you got a baseball or softball kid in your family. And by the way, Father's Day is coming up next month. What a great Father's Day idea and gift for your father in your life than a brand new backyard, because he's the one that's doing all the work back there. Let's be honest. All right. So let's take off a little workload and go visit our friends at Synthetic Turf Northwest and syntheticturfnorthwest.com. Other reminder here quickly, and we mentioned this before early in the program, June 3rd, one of our great sponsors, Georgetown Brewery, it's got a really cool event that's coming up. June 3rd against the Baltimore Orioles. It is craft beer night there at the ballpark. You can purchase a Georgetown Brewing themed ticket special for $35. So you get into the game, and then go back and watch the stream. I'll tweet it out later today. You get a limited edition foam cowboy hat with the Georgetown Brewery logo on the front of it. So craft beer night coming up June 3rd against the Orioles. Please go support Georgetown Brewery, one of the great sponsors here of Puck Sports. They've been with us from the beginning, and they're great. They bring all of our NFL coverage throughout the year. They'll be back next season. Well, they're back all the time. So indebted to those guys, Manny and Roger and Crystal and Matt, everybody that works over there. Shout out Dave. Dave, you don't get enough love. They've been with us from the get-go. Of course, the new Tavern beer, go check it out. Domestic style, easy drinking lager. That's brewed here. Remember when there used to be one that was like that was brewed here? That was, no longer. But the Tavern beer it's brewed here. I'm picking up a Tavern beer tomorrow myself, picking up a whole keg of it. Can't wait. All right. Those are some housekeeping items. to get you all caught up here. Let's end the show on Hey What the Puck, which is brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. It's your restoration company that lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage, kids. All right, give them a call. They're local, and they're going to take care of you. Make them your first call, 206-817-8917. Visit them online at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. I want to just piggyback on the Seahawks ticket thing. For those who don't know, they're going to implement a new policy this year, and I understand it, and I get the thinking behind it of this new policy. It was an email that went out to season ticket holders. They wrote that renewal eligibility may be impacted if it's determined that your tickets were primarily used for resale purposes. So it comes on, listen, they didn't do well last year at home. There's the Bills game, there's the Packers game, and it's the stadium is overrun by them. The team said in an email that went out to season ticket holders, at the conclusion of each season, accounts that resell a majority of their season tickets will be contacted and given an opportunity to respond before any renewal eligibility decisions are made. Now, the Packers, who, like the Seahawks, have had a long wait list forever. They have taken measures to obviously get their own fans into Lambeau, but Lambeau is like a destination. It's like in baseball, going to Wrigley, going to Yankee Stadium, going to Fenway, going to Dodger Stadium. It's like people are drawn there because it's Lambeau Field. I want to go to Lambeau Field. Organization has in the past has declined to renew season tickets of accounts that have sold 100% of their tickets for regular season games for multiple years. Buccaneers are going to do it. I think the Colts are going to do it. So I get it. They want to crack down on season ticket holders from selling their tickets to opposing fans. But herein lies the rub here. How do you determine that? How do you know? Like if I buy season tickets, and I get it, and I understand their point, especially if you've done it multiple years and you're selling in all of them. I mean, really, you're cracking down on the secondary ticket market. That's what you want to try and get rid of, right? It's the StubHubs, it's it's the Venue Kings, it's those guys who you're trying to get rid of because that's their sole purpose is to buy tickets and then resell them. That's what they're trying to do. That's their business, and then they market all the way up. You, the fan, that's just the individual. So you want to push those people out. That's fine. I really don't have a problem with that. The consumer, the one that really is just buying the tickets and going to the games and selling them. I mean, I don't. How are you going to implement that? Like, I don't know how you implement. I don't know how you figure out who they've sold to. Let's say you sell 8 of your tickets this year. What if you sell it or 9 of your tickets? What if it's every time to a Seahawks fan? I mean, the whole point of the ticket policy is to sell them to Seahawks fans, right? But if you're selling your tickets, let's say I had season tickets and I sold all of my home games, but all of my home games went to Seahawks fans. Well, what's the problem with that? Because the whole idea is to have Seahawks fans in there. So I want to know more about how are they going to determine who you sold it to? The other thing I will say is I think it's a knee-jerk reaction and a little pathetic to me. I said it earlier. I just think it's a little pathetic that they're acting this way. First of all, I don't think you should tell anyone how to spend their money and what they do with their money. They bought them. It's theirs. You know what? If you want to stop it, then lower the ticket prices. I mean, that is at heart a lot of this issue is the tickets are so expensive now. People have to sell. They want to keep them because they don't want to give them up because once you give them up, you're on this waiting list and it's done. I did that. I had tickets forever. We left the Hawks Nest, and I said, I don't want them anymore. And that was Jim Moore's last year. Then Carroll took over, and then I regretted 2 years later, tried to get back in. He can't get back in. Okay? I just, these people purchased, it's their money. Lower the ticket prices. Maybe people won't have to sell them as much. The other thing, too, to me, it was 2 games. And we have overreacted far too long about really 2 games last year. That was the outlier. Packers and the Bills. Bills never come out here. It was a once in a blue moon. So of course they traveled. The Packers always travel. And frankly, it's probably not a lot of people even from Green Bay or Wisconsin. It's just that is a team. It's a national following like the Yankees are. I would bet you majority of those people that were there wearing Packers gear grew up here. They just become Packers fans. So, but because I went to the Dolphins game, there was no Dolphins fans in there. It was a good crowd. So, I don't know. I think it's an overreaction. The other thing is play better. The crowd didn't have anything to do with you losing to the Bills. Crowd didn't have anything you losing to the Packers. You were the problem. So stop, if I'm, because DK was quoted after the game and Gino was quoted after the game, stop, and Mike McDonald, stop bitching and moaning about it. Play better. Play better, and maybe people don't sell their tickets. It becomes more desirable. People sell more when it's not desirable and they know they can make money because opposing fans are coming in. This is more on the players and the coaches and the product on the field than it is about the fans. Play better and you won't have this problem. All right, that's Hey, What the Puck? It's brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. It's your restoration company that lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage. Give them a call, 206-817-8917. Visit them online at restoration1.com, North Seattle franchise. Thank you for everyone watching and listening today. Always appreciate the support. Thank you to all our great sponsors, Limback Lumber, Clean Streak, Georgetown Brewery. Again, check it out, Georgetown Brewery, and their event coming up on June 3rd, Craft Beer Night. Go purchase a ticket. It's $35. You get a limited edition foam cowboy out there from Georgetown Brewery. Big thanks to Georgetown Brewery. Been with us from the get-go. Also, Restoration One. Today's Daily Puck Drop. Find it up on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Also, find the Daily Puck Drop, the DPD, on your favorite podcast platforms. And, of course, up at pucksports.com. When you're up at pucksports.com, sign up, become a member of the Pucks Posse. $5 a month. That's all it costs you. You get a discount if you sign up for a year. You're like, well, what do I get? Well, you get everything free that we do, all the free daily content. No one else is doing you a daily show podcast like this. No one's doing that for you. So we give you that. It's world-renowned coverage. It's great guests. What guests don't you love? You love them all. Bill Kruger. We've had a Bill Kruger's with us on Mondays now. All right? You get our MLB insider, Ryan Divish. You get the sports bit that comes out on Mondays with Steve Sandmeyer and Matt Stretch Johnson. You now get Mitchie the Kid, Mitch Levy, Mitch Unfiltered, that comes out on Thursdays. And again, that's the one. We give that one to you live, and then we flip it out, and the only way to watch or listen to it later is if you sign up to be a Pucks Posse member. And of course, now we're in the producing game. We check out the Graz with Gas Take 5 podcast, produced here by Puck Sports. New episodes every Monday up on YouTube and all podcast platforms. Just search Graz with Gas Take 5. And of course, find that content up at pucksports.com. All right. Great week as always. I'm going to sit back, watch a lot of golf, even though I hate the PGA Championship. I don't know. I just don't like it. But I'm still going to watch it because I'm addicted to it. Enjoy your weekend. Good luck right there. Ballard High School. Coach Montgomery and Coach Doug and all the boys, good luck tomorrow night. And I believe this will be a first for the high school. It's got to be a first. The softball team won the Metro Championships. Congratulations to the ladies at Ballard High School for winning the Metro Championship. The boys tomorrow get a chance to win the Metro Championship as they take on West Seattle. And I believe, and our crack research has determined that Ballard High School has never, ever, ever won both the baseball and softball Metro Championships in the same year. What a year for Ballard High School. Let's go. Gymnastics wins the state championship for the first time. We got a state champion in our house on the floor, and now Ballard softball wins the girls Metro Championship. I know that the goal is the state. And the boys tomorrow go for the state for the Metro Championship against West Seattle. Good luck to all those kids there at Ballard High School. It'll be fun rooting you on there from afar. So good luck to them. All right, we'll see you on Monday. As always, promise to be better.
No shoes, no ties.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to love you. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you, but you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for?
We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!